Shri Guru Gauranga Giridhari Shri Radharaman Bihari Ji ki jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ji ki jai, Jai Shri Vishnu Pada Paramahans Priyaja Kacharya Stutra Shat Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Shri Vana Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai, Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada Stutra Shat Shri Bhakti Vedanta Shri Vamana Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada Shri Bhakti Vedanta Shri Narayana Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Jai Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada Stutra Shat Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai, Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada Shri Bhakti Pragyani Keshava Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada Stutra Shat Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Nitila Pravista Paramahans Shri Gorakshar Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Sachidananda Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Vaishnava Sarvama Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Srila Rupanu Guruvara ki jai, Gurudeva Charbala Devi Bhushan Prabhu ki jai, Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Shri Narottam Srinivas Shri Mananda Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhata Raghunatha Shri Jeev Gopala Bhata Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Swarupada Modara Raya Ramananda Gaura Parshada Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद शनावद्वीप धाम की जय, श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गो गिरिराज महाराज की जय, श्यामा कुंद राधा कुंद जमुना गंगा तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय, जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समगत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृष्णे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। ओम वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Dandavat pranams. First of all, my obeisance to my spiritual master, Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Shata, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Shri Vana Goswami Maharaj, my obeisances to Shri Rupanu Guru Varga, to Param Gurudeva Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada, Shri Bhakti Vedanta, Vamana Goswami Maharaj, Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada, Shri Bhakti Vedanta, Narayana Goswami Maharaj. To all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Shri Rupanu Guru Varga, to all of you devotees, my Dandavat pranams, Madhubala Didi, Lalit Mohini Didi, Dandavat pranams, all of you, everyone who is here now, who will hear also in the future, my Dandavat pranams to all. So, we are very, very happy to continue reading Param Gurudev's book called Sri Bhakti Rasayana. So actually I'm facing some technical issues. I was not able to open the program that puts the book on the screen. I'm sorry, I hope I can fix that issue soon. And also I also stopped the Zoom because of because Zoom also have to pay, no? It's like, how to say, the subscription. So I stopped paying. I thought, okay, YouTube is okay. But if you guys think that Zoom is much better, then we could also use the Zoom platform. But the good thing about the YouTube is recorded for the future. All the classes stayed here, so you can hear later on. So continue Bhakti Rasayana chapter. We're reading the chapter called Happiness in Separation, chapter 5. And we finished this chapter. We already covered this chapter. Now we'll start. Hare Krishna, Devi Didi, Dandavat Pranams. Now we'll start chapter 6 of Sri Bhakti Rasayana. So whoever has the book, page 59, Sri Bhakti Rasayana. So chapter 6, page 59. The Gopis desire to become birds and deer. So Devi Didi is here tonight. I don't know, Devi Didi, if you have any background on this book, if you know a little bit about what it is about. So it's a book called Bhakti Rasayana, made of lectures by Param Gurudeva, Nitila Pravistam Vishnu Pada, Shri Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, that he gave in Mathura years ago. The devotees translated, made this book, in which he's commenting or commentating. He's commentating or commenting. Sorry, I don't know, commentating upon the chapter of Brihad Bhagavatamrita called Bhakti Rasayana chapter, which one of the end chapter of the final chapters of Bhakti Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Sanatana Goswami. So this chapter, Bhakti Rasayana, is full of many special verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam and other books as well, other shastras. Very sweet shlokas. So Parama Gurudeva is explaining some of these verses. Mainly, until now, we've covered only verses from the Bhagavatam, some special verses. And Parama Gurudeva also giving the meaning, special meaning behind these verses. Oh, like this is fine. Okay. Thank you, Didi. Okay, so Parama Gurudeva says, after telling the story of the Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami is giving us some rasayana, some nectar tonic that is specially for those who have been freed from the disease, but who are still a little weak. By taking this medicine for some time, the body will again become strong, meaning that one will be able to progress in sadhana, and one's prema bhakti will become steadfast. First, he treated our disease, but just curing the disease is not everything because one still remains weak. After one's faith, Shraddha, has increased and transformed into resolute determination, Nishtha, progressing from there, he will face many impediments to spiritual advancement, anarthas. This nectar tonic is specially intended for those at this stage. If, in a regulated manner, one hears these final verses and then deeply meditates on them, his love for Bhagavan will surely increase. But if after hearing these verses, one does not meditate on them, then at the time of chanting the holy name, his mind will certainly be absorbed in thoughts of material enjoyment. While chanting, his mind will be unsteady, and remembrance of events from the life he led before he began to follow the path of bhakti will awaken inside him. Various kinds of sankalpa and vikalpa, attraction and repulsion to material objects, will come to his mind, and he won't receive the full benefit from this nectar tonic. But if someone meditates on these verses while chanting the holy name, then his bhakti will surely increase. This is the method for increasing one's devotion. So Parama Gurudeva is here revealing to us the secret to advancing our spiritual life. So this happens very often to the devotees. They become very weak, especially far from sadhana, from strong association of a higher Vaishnava, and hearing Harikatha, far from the association of higher saints and the chance to hear his Harikatha, we become very weak. And how to increase our spiritual life? Okay, we have that faith, we're chanting holy names, we're trying to follow, but we're not increasing. So one of the main problems is here. When we chant the holy names, we don't even chant that much, right? And when we chant, we are not giving the full concentration. So sometimes Gurudeva says, like, minimum we should do is chant before the sunrise, Brahma Muhurta, because that time the mind is automatically open, is in the mode of goodness. Your mind will be very calm and quiet, so very easily your mind think about God and can absorb in the holy names. Because after the sun rises, automatically Rajoguna comes, mode of passion, and our mind starts thinking about the 1,000 things you have to do. So if you want to be serious, you should chant before sunrise. And that chanting we do is very powerful. And in the beginning, we should concentrate in making sure we are chanting properly the whole Mahamantra. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We should make sure in the beginning we are not skipping any mantra when you're chanting faster. And in the beginning, we should concentrate on the sound of the Mahamantra. This is the first step. Just hear yourself chanting here. The next step is think about the Harikatha, the things you've heard while chanting. Especially this kind of katha that we're hearing here from Parama Gurudeva, this nectar tonic Harikatha, given in the final chapter of Bhakti Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which is a rasayana called Bhakti Rasayana. It's something that will make your weakness go away. because you're already cured from the disease, but you're too weak. So the comparison is given. Rasayana in the Ayurvedic medicine means this kind of tonic. So in the book of my Gurudeva, he has a book called Jewels of the Heart, which is actually lectures on Harinama Chintamani by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He explains all this in detail. It's a very good book. I recommend everybody read because it's so good, because he explains exactly this method in details, the whole book only about this, which is called, so two kinds of meditation. One is sārasa-upāsana. Sārasa-upāsana means when you have love for Kṛṣṇa and you have already realization of your swarupa, your transcendental form serving Kṛṣṇa. So automatically in your mind, all the past, or your heart, all the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa take place automatically, and you just having darshan of these beautiful pastimes. So this is sārasa-upāsana. It's very high class stage. But another part is another kind of worship. It's called mantra-maya upāsana. So when we chant the mantra, Harinam, even the Gayatri mantra, we can meditate in the meaning of the mantras. And also, for example, we should also learn these verses from the scriptures, special verses. And when we chant holy names, we should remember these meanings. And that's how our chanting will progress more and more, and will achieve finally one day Bhakti Ras. Otherwise, the chanting can become very, very dry. So the method for increasing our devotion is hear this Harikatha or read the Harikatha and try to remember these meanings of these verses or the verse. So in this book of my Gurudeva called Jewels of the Heart, he explains, example, you're chanting, and in the middle, in between some rounds, you chant some verses, because these verses are, from Bhagavatam, for example, they are very, very powerful, these verses. Vana Gita, Gopi Gita, all these verses. They're like mantras itself, right? In themselves, they are mantras. So when you chant, also, they're very powerful. But if you think, no, this is too high class for me, I can barely control my senses. So we can also chant Upadeshamrita verses, especially the first verses, how to control the mind, how to conquer anger. And this will give you a lot of strength as well to overcome the obstacles. Because how Gurudeva is saying, if you're actually chanting, but your mind is doing what? Thinking about the things you did before you took the path of devotion, thinking about sense gratification. So what is this chanting, right? Mechanically, but you're actually thinking about something else. So where your mind is very important. Oh, but my mind is going again and again to think bad things or to think about sense gratification. I'm chanting. Don't worry. We should continue chanting and bring the mind back again and again. So the process to control the mind, again and again, bring back your mind. And also vairagya means renunciation. And also an example is given, just like when you put fire in the jungle, all animals which are hidden, the beasts, they start running away from the fire. So in the same way, Mahamantra, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is like a fire in our anarthas, in all our bad impressions. So all these will come out. So even if your mind is disturbed and all that, it means the mantra is working. It means the mantra is working. So don't worry. Just continue. Then Parangurudeva continues saying, while we are dreaming, those things which occupied our minds and which we meditated on time and again while awake come to our vision. Sometimes things that are completely unrelated appear in our dream. It is all scrambled and there is not even any realistic continuity. If our minds are not controlled, then it will be the same when we chant Harinam. For a certain amount of time each day, we all hear some Harikatha. But now consider what you're doing for all of your remaining waking hours. If we fully meditate on Bhagavan during those remaining hours, then at all times the mind will remain absorbed in him. The focus of our minds will be determined by what we think about during our waking hours. If for those hours the mind is pondering over sense enjoyments, such as what arrangements we have made for eating and drinking and how we'll solve all of our worldly problems, then how will we be able to steadily think of God? Will our minds remain steady while chanting from our daily hearing? Will our minds remain steady while chanting from our daily hearing of perhaps only 1 hour of Harikatha? It will certainly be absorbed in what we thought about during most of our waking hours. And even while sleeping, we'll remember those same things. But if one remains in sadhu sango and during all his waking hours applies his mind to hearing Harikatha, reading the scriptures, serving the Lord, and doesn't worry about any other problems, then his mind will remain steady. Therefore, the sadhaka, the practitioner who wants to elevate his mind, should meditate on the pastimes described in these verses while chanting the holy name. We should make this effort, pushing away the thoughts of experiencing sense gratification and collecting good quality possessions. And gradually, in due course, our minds will remain steady in meditation all on Bhagavan's pastimes. For this purpose, the pastimes of Mahaprabhu are supremely merciful and generous. When Mahaprabhu was in South India, he met with Raya Ramananda. And their conversation, the Ramananda Samvad, is unanimously appreciated by all the topmost devotees in this world. If you read Raya Ramananda Samvad, you'll see why. You'll see why. Why? Because there, which each verse of Raya Ramananda Samvad, they are unveiling the deepest of secrets. And while reading Raya Ramananda Samvad, your heart will become so spellbound that you will not have desire to stop reading. Therefore, while chanting Harinam, we should meditate on this type of narrations from the scriptures. But if we are inattentively while taking Harinam, we will not be benefited. We should first try to attain nishtha, steadiness, and then ruchi, taste will come. After that, ashakti, deep attachment will come. And we should try to transform that into bhav, ecstatic emotion. In the Lila Katha that we are hearing here from Sanatana Goswami, there are instructions for all levels of devotees. Those on the level of shraddha, of faith, they will understand these verses in a particular way. And those who have nishtha will understand them in a different way. Those in the shakti, attachment stage, will understand them in a certain way. And those who are in bhav will understand them yet in another way. So now Param Gurudeva is going to come to the Gopis part. Very important what he's saying. Where is our mind absorbed? That's very, very important. Actually, the whole thing about Krishna consciousness is this, right? Concentrate your mind in Krishna. But for a conditioned soul, it's so hard. So you have to start step by step, like the Bhagavad Gita explains, right? First, you follow Varnashram Dharma, offer the fruits of your work to Krishna without desire. And then slowly, you can more and more do for Krishna, and your sense will be purified, and you'll be able to also concentrate your mind in Him. Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji man namaskuru. Mame vashe satante pratijane priyosime. Like this is according to Param Gurudeva's that book, Gita, Essence of the Gita. This is like the best shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto. Madhyaji man namaskuru. He says the best thing you have to man mana bhavo, completely absorb your mind in me. And who is the topmost example of absorbing their mind in Krishna? Are the Gopis. The Gopis, they are completely absorbed in Krishna all the time. Everything they do is for Krishna. Even their eating, sleeping, getting ready, everything they do is just for Krishna. Krishna likes this, that's why we do this. They only think about Krishna's happiness all the time. So that's the topmost example of man mana bhavo, of giving your mind, absorbing your mind in Krishna. And then some devotee may say, I cannot do that. Then the next part of the verse, man mana bhavo mad bhakto. Okay, so become my devotee. Engage in the limbs of bhakti. Oh, I cannot do that. Madhyaji, worship to me. You can do worship, archan. Man namaskuru. Okay, if you cannot do anything, you can at least do pranam to me. And from that pranam, obeisance to Krishna. If you just do one time pranam to the Krishna, is more than, like there's a verse saying, Dashamedi Puranati Janma Krishna Pranamena Na Punarbhava. Means if you do even 10 times Dashameda Yagya, you again have to take birth in this world. But if one time you do Pranam to Krishna, you never again take birth here. So Bhakti is like this. You can start slowly and progress more and more. But here Param Gurudev, this book is very high actually, Bhakti Rasayana. He's telling us how to go higher, how to go more, how to advance more. So it's not only doing physically bhakti, but how we can think about these moods of the gopis more and more. And these will be very, very important for the advancement in our spiritual lives. So he's saying how much Harikatha you're hearing, how many books, like any hours of book you read per day, or how much you absorb yourself in Harikatha per day. Because like every day, Nityam Bhagavat Savaya, every day you have to chant holy names. Every day you also have to hear about Krishna. Means Harikatha, reading books. Because in this material world, everything is like telling us other things, right? The TV, people, everything's related to body and to material things. So we have to again and again give this impression in our mind about Krishna. Harikatha is the life of the devotee. And then by giving Harikatha, what happened? Then your mind can be absorbed in Krishna. That's he was also saying. If you hear only a little bit 1 hour of Harikatha, but in the rest of the day, what are you doing? Are you absorbing Maya or in Krishna? So if you're absorbing in Maya, then how come your mind will be able to concentrate on Krishna when you chant holy names? Right? So you have to again and again try to give more time to think about Krishna. Then when you chant holy names, then you can also think about him, about the Harikatha we are hearing. Now he's coming to the Gopis. So the Gopis, they are together with other friends, other Gopis. And the Gopis said that all the plants, the creepers, the trees of Vrindavana, they were trembling in the breeze. It was as if they were experiencing ecstatic symptoms and that they were drooping down slowly to offer their everything to Krishna as he passed by. A sadhaka should also try to offer his everything to Krishna. And when he does, then it can be said that he's really engaged in sadhana. Then the Gopis remembered how the bees would sit on Krishna's garland of forest flowers and not leave him, and how they would sometimes swarm around him offering prayers. Next, the Gopis describe how the birds are even more elevated. And how they reacted to the sweet melody emanating from Krishna's flute. There are birds such as peacocks, parrots, pigeons, and quails, like cuckoos, that live on land. But first they describe the birds that reside on water. So these are now Gurudeva will quote a verse from the Yugala Gita. Yugala Gita. So let's remember, there are 5 main Gitas in the Bhagavatam, which are like the life air of our life air. We have 5 life airs, most important. So Bhagavatam is composed of how many verses? Is it 18,000? I think 18,000 verses. 12 cantos. But within all these 18,000 verses, there are 5 songs, means 5 groups of shlokas, known as Gita. Gita means songs. And they are most important of all. So they are spoken by the Gopis, yes. So first of all, we have Venu Gita, the song of the flute, which is on the 21st chapter, 10th canto. It's the first time when Shukadeva Goswami tells about the Gopis. Then we have here then we have Pranaya Gita first. After that, which is when Gopis come to the Rasa Lila, and then Krishna says, oh, why did you come here? Like you should go back to your house and serve your husbands. Then that conversation they have, Gopis start expressing their heart to Krishna, is called Pranaya Gita. Then after that, we have this one here, chapter 35, Yugala Gita. Yugala Gita, Yugala generally means couple, but here means like double. Like within two verses, the Gopis glorify also Krishna and the effects of his love and his sound of the flute everywhere. So actually, the Yugala Gita, it resembles a lot with the Venu Gita. So that's chapter 35. So you have first Venu Gita, then Pranaya Gita, then Yugala Gita, and then you have Gopi Gita. Gopi Gita, Krishna appeared on the Rasa dance, and then the Gopis sang about Krishna's glories, and then Krishna reappeared. So that's the Gopi Gita, song of the Gopis. Then you have the last one, chapter 47, Brahmara Gita, which is the song of the bumblebee, which is when Krishna left Vrindavana, went to Mathura, he sent like a messenger, Uddhav, and then he came also in the bumblebee also, it's kind of a Uddhav at the same time. Means Uddhav witnessed Srimati Radhika speaking with a bumblebee in Transcendental Madness. very angry with Krishna. And that's called the Song of the Bumblebee. 10 verses describing the transcendental medicine of Srimati Radha. So these are the 5 Gitas of the Bhagavatam. 5 songs, 5 Gitas, Gita. G-I-T-A, Gita. So that's very important because they're compared to the 5 life airs of the body. I just said that. And also you should know that we have 5 chapters which are the most important. So just now describe the 5 Gitas, the 5 songs. So the songs, they are in 5 different chapters, but they're not the full chapter. They're parts of it's like a group of verses, a song, right? But the 5 chapters of the Bhagavatam, which is the topmost, it's called Rasa Pancha Adhyaya. Okay? Rasa Pancha Adhyaya. So maybe you've already heard this term in the Harikatha. I'm just explaining maybe those who don't know, so you can know this, but this is just basic information. Like, this is just general. I'm just discussing because maybe some people don't know. Rasa Panchadhyaya means 5 chapters of the Srimad Bhagavatam that are like the best ones because they will describe the Rasa Lila, which is the topmost thing being described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the sweet pastimes of Krishna with the Gopis. So that's from the chapter 29 of the 10th canto until the 33. So 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 5 chapters, which are also compared to the life air of the Bhagavatam as well, or the life air of the 5 life airs. So why are you saying this? Because this chapter here is called, and I also need to tell you that Srila Gurudeva, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, he published a book called Rasa Panchadhyaya. Means he made a comment only in these 5 chapters of the Rasa Lila, which is published in English as well. So very beautiful. So this verse now that we'll recite, page 62, is from the Yugala Gita, which is one of the main Gitas of the Bhagavatam. So the verse is Bhagavatam 10.35.11. It says, sarasi sārasa-haṁsa-vihaṅgāś cāru-gītā-hṛta-cetasa etya harim upāsata yata-cittā hanta mīlita-dṛśo dhṛta-maunāḥ. The Gopis said, oh, Hare Krishna, Sudevi Didi, Dandavat Pranam, Sudevi from Ukraine, Hare Krishna. The Gopis said, it is very astonishing that Krishna steals away the hearts of the swans, cranes, and other water birds in such a way that they approach him, sit down, and worship him with their eyes closed and fully concentrate their minds on him. So this is the verse. The Gopis are praising the exchange between Krishna and the birds. Param Gurudev says, in this verse from the Yugala Gita, the Gopis are saying, forget those bees. More intelligent than the bees are the birds. Because the birds, this bird reside on the water. When Krishna arrives in the forest, what astonishing thing happened? So in the verse, there's a word called hanta. Hanta in Sanskrit means, oh, like wow. Hanta in Sanskrit means wow. So the Gopis say this word here in this verse means amazed, being wonderstruck. The Gopis are now marveling at seeing these birds. They say, when the cranes and swans on the pond heard the beautiful song Krishna was playing on his flute, they became completely spellbound. Through the medium of their ears, they held Krishna within their hearts. Ordinarily, when they see someone, they immediately flee. Birds, right? They just go away. But instead, they quickly came near to worship Krishna. So in this verse, there's a word called upāsata, means worshiping with the mind, body, and words all at once. Param Gurudev says, as long as a jiva, a soul, is conditioned, he is not capable of performing real upāsana, worship. He can only be endeavoring for upāsana, because it means be near Bhagavan in his personal presence. So in the stage of conditioned soul, we can only endeavor for upāsana. Upāsana means worship, but real meaning of upāsana means to sit close to God, near Bhagavan, in his personal presence. Param Gurudev says, when we offer puja, we do puja to Thakurji, that's called upāsana. But is it really upāsana? He's asking. Where is the deity and where are we, right? Do you have the transcendental realization of that transcendental deity? We are conditioned souls, and He, God, He is all-pervading, the solidified form of Satchidananda. Remember Satchidananda? Transcendental existence, knowledge and bliss. Therefore, we are not able to really be near Him. But when our hearts are pure enough and we attain a spiritual form, then we can go near Him, and it can be called upāsana. But as long as we are conditioned souls full of anarthas, we cannot really offer Him archana, worship. So, this is just an important point, that we are doing archan, right? That's very good. We should do Vaidhi Bhakti, follow all the rules and regulations, and then we do that based on Gurudeva's instructions. Means he says Thakurji is transcendental, and with that faith in Gurudev's words, we do it. And that's very, very good for us. Then, because in the beginning, if you do archan, worship Thakurji, that will help you so much in having a regulated life. Oh, I have to wake up early. I have to do arati, mangalarati. I have to offer food to Thakurji, cook your own food, serve to Thakurji. That's very, very good for the sadhak. Very, very good. You see in all our temples, there's Thakurji worship. But what Paragurudeva is saying is that we don't have that transcendental realization of who the deity is. So our worship is not a real worship in the pure meaning of what is to be worshiping God, which is sit next to Him in His personal presence. But doesn't mean we don't have to do it. Like there's also about this, there was when the Srila Parangurudeva Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj used to have loving quarrel with Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikrama Goswami Maharaj. Maybe you've heard of this beautiful quarrel they used to have. So Srila Trivikrama Maharaj used to accuse Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj of speaking too much, raskata, too much about Radharani, all these secret things about Kṛṣṇa and the Gopis. And then saying, we're not qualified for this, why are you saying this? But actually he used to say this just to poke Parangurudev to speak more about them, to release the nectar more and more. And then Parangurudev used to say, oh, okay, you're saying we're not qualified to chant the name of Radha or to speak about Radha and Gopis. Are you qualified to chant holy names then? Because even if you think about what is the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, is the divine couple, no? Meeting and separating and meeting, divine couple meeting and separation. So are you qualified to chant holy names? So you're saying we're not qualified to speak about the Gopis, but are you qualified to, so you're saying that you're qualified then to chant holy names? Who has the qualification to chant holy names? To chant even the Mahamantra? Anyway, in this way, they used to have this loving quarrel. So the Gopis, they are far from the birds. Sorry, the birds are far away from Kṛṣṇa. Sorry. And the birds, they come with yata-cittā, means their minds is fully controlled. Because in the verse here, it mentions that the birds, they have the mind controlled. The birds of Vrindavan. And then Parangurudeva tells us, in our present condition, our minds are not controlled at all. So when you do meditation, there are stages of the meditation. I don't know if you heard of this. First is yam, means control of the senses. Then you have niyam, control of the mind. Then you have asana. Those who know yoga, asana, right? You know, the postures, body postures. Then you have pranayam, which is breath control. Then you have pratyahara, means withdrawal of the mind from sensory perception. Then you have dharana, which is steadying the mind, make the mind steady. Then you have dhyana. Dhyana means meditation. Then finally, the last stage of meditation is called samadhi. Samadhi means completely trance. And when one has achieved this state, then his meditation can be called real upāsana. That's why our Gurudevs, Guru Varga, they are in the samadhi, right? When they go in Nitya Lila, in the eternal pastimes, they're saying samadhi, because they became one in that meditation of the Supreme Lord, in that transcendental service of the divine couple. But actually, our Guru Varga, they are always in samadhi. They are always in this transcendental trance, because inside, with the Siddha Deha, they are always serving the divine couple in Goloka Vrindavan. Mane mane Siddha Deha, Koriya Bhavan, Ratridina, Koro, Kṛṣṇa, sorry, Ratridina, karo Krishna sevan. Means in your mind, serve the divine couple in Vrindavan again all the time. Mane mane siddhadeha korya bhavan, rati dina Radha Krishna karo sevan. Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, those birds heard Krishna playing the flute and saw his exquisite form. And by seeing Krishna, hear Krishna playing the flute, the birds became fully self-controlled. Yata-cittā. Param Gurudeva says, this is one symptom of a sadhu. So Param Gurudeva is making a comparison between the birds and the sadhus, the pure devotees. They have what? Full self-control, minds controlled. And then another quality they have is called mīlita-dṛśo, which means they closed their eyes and dhṛta-maunāḥ became silent. So this verse mentioned this about the birds. That their minds were controlled, they closed their eyes and they became silent. Ordinarily, they were always making their chirping sounds, but instead they became silent. Right? Birds are always making sound, but they became silent when they heard the sound of the flute. Then Param Gurudeva says now something to us about this. He says, the speech is the cause of so many faults. If someone speaks in a deceptive or unbeneficial manner, his mind will be contaminated and therefore become restless. But if one's speech is controlled, then he'll never offend any Vaishnava. Fighting and quarreling, uncontrolled speech is the cause of all this. Therefore, in the Upadeshamrita, the first of all instruction given to us is, everyone, vacho vegam, means control the speech. Our speech must be controlled. So here it says in this verse, dhṛta-maunāḥ means that the birds were silent. So the tongues of the water birds, which ordinarily make so many sounds, at once became silent. Param Gurudeva says, if someone desires to engage in bhajana, in spiritual life, then they should practice silence, which means not speaking anything besides Krishna Nam and Krishna Katha. Then it will really be sadhana and bhajan. And also, mīlita-dṛśo means those birds closed their eyes. They took a look at Krishna and then immediately closed their eyes. What does that mean? Through the medium of their eyes, they took Krishna into their hearts. And they had no desire to see any worldly object. And yata-cittā means they remained in silent with their eyes closed. Their minds became fully controlled. Now Param Gurudeva gives us a valuable lesson. He'll say, from looking here and there and speaking in an unregulated manner, one's mind becomes restless. For this reason, Bilamangala Thakur plucked out both of his eyes and became silent except for speaking Krishna Katha. But without harming our eyes or tongue, we should simply control them, and then automatically our mind will be controlled. So this is the first step of self-realization, is to control your mind. Control your speech, Vacho vegan, then manasa krodha vegan. Control your mind and anger. So if you want to advance in our spiritual life, we should follow Upadeshamrita, the nectar of all instruction. And we should, how to control the tongue, Harikatha and Harinam. Because the mind will always want to think about things. The tongue will often want to speak. So in the Krishna consciousness, instead of saying, remain, like meditate on nothing, on anything. No. Think about Harikatha. Speak about Harikatha. So that's the difference. Like, my mind is so disturbed. So you should engage your mind in thinking about Krishna. I speak too much. Speak about Krishna. Speak Harikatha. Chant holy names. You have to bring the positive in. And then automatically the negative will go out. So the more we give the higher taste, then naturally we give up what is low. So the story of Bilamangala Thakur, Param Gurudeva just mentioned here. Do you remember the story of Bilamangala Thakur? In brief, right? He left his house. He wanted to meet. He left his wife and parents. It was the time of his father's funeral rites, and then he left. Before everything was finished, he left the funeral in the middle, and he went to meet Chintamani, which some people say she was a prostitute, but she used to give Harikatha. and dance and everything. And he came to her, he was attached to her, and then she said, and then it was raining, so many obstacles. He had to cross a river, he had to jump over the fence of her house. And finally, when he came, she said, "Did you give up everything? What about the funeral of your father? You didn't even finish that. What is this?" And then he's like, "Oh no, I just needed to see you." She said, "Oh, if you have that attachment for Kṛṣṇa, then your life will be successful." And when she said this, he immediately started a journey to go towards Vrindavan. And on the way, like that, those words were really like stuck onto him. So he thought, okay, I'll go to Vrindavan. But on the way, he saw a newly wedded lady, and then his eyes went to her, like attracted by her form. And then he said, "Can you give me your hairpin?" And then she gave. He said, "Oh, I have a thorn in my feet." But then instead of removing the thorn, he made himself blind because he thought, "Oh, my eyes again want to enjoy." And then Kṛṣṇa came later on, and then he said, like an ordinary cowherd boy, and Kṛṣṇa guided him to Vrindavan, holding his hand. And then he spoke many beautiful verses glorifying Kṛṣṇa, which are known as the book Kṛṣṇa Karnamrita. Vilamangala Thakur, very special devotee, Kṛṣṇa Paksha Gopi. So Parangurudeva is saying, but you shouldn't pluck your eyes or cut your tongue or these things. No, but we should control them. Control them again and again. And then if we control your speech, then your mind will be automatically controlled. If you control your eyes, the mind is the king, but also that's why the answer is always this. Abhyasa and vairagya means you have to renounce, not to give your sense that what he wants. And also we have to again and again practice abhyas. So yes, sometimes we'll lose, we'll be defeated, but we have to try again and again, again and again, again and again. And then Gurudeva says how speech, having uncontrolled speech, is the cause of all problem. So my Gurudeva also always says, also Parangurudeva also, if you want to advance in the spiritual life, we have to speak less, to be more serious, laugh less. Of course, you have also can make some jokes sometimes, but we should be very serious, and we should especially be careful not speak too much. Those who speak too much, he always says, no, they're not taken seriously. They often criticize others, commit offense, and so you should speak less. But what you speak should be very meaningful and deep. And then he always says, in this life, you may chant less holy names. Like, are you chanting 64 rounds every day? You may chant less, but never ever criticize anyone, especially Vaishnavas, but no anyone. So that, even if you chant less, but you continue not criticizing, means not using your tongue to speak about others, not thinking about what others are doing or criticizing or thinking about other people's lives, just even if it's a little bit, but you're remembering some harikatha and going on with your duties according to your capability, then you can advance, even slowly, but slowly, steady wins the race. So here the gopis are saying, this is a very astonishing thing. These birds who ordinarily chirp day and night have today become silent, and closing their eyes, they have taken Kṛṣṇa into their hearts. Now automatically their minds have become controlled, and they have no remaining desire in this world. If someone desires to engage in bhajan, then they must be like this. So the gopis are saying how the birds are, and Parangurudeva is saying also the gopis, like, this instruction is for everyone. If someone wants to engage in bhajan, they should be like this. This instruction is for all levels of devotees, and according to one's level, one will be able to do this. Yet in the Yugala Gita, we find the gopis saying like this, oh, Aho Saki, we are unable to do this. Day and night, our minds are restless. We are not able to keep our eyes closed, and we are also constantly conversing, speaking non-stop. We are unable to remain silent, the gopis are saying. We cannot be silent. The swans and cranes can go near to Kṛṣṇa and receive his direct darshan. But we cannot get such a good opportunity. They are certainly of a higher class than us. So Parangurudeva says, this is the gopis' Uttam Adhikari vision. So the gopis' high class, even though their eyes remain open solely because they are always searching for Kṛṣṇa, and even though they are unable to remain silent solely because they are always speaking about Kṛṣṇa, they are considering everyone else to be more fortunate than themselves. And they are taking instruction from everything and everyone. So, actually, this is a symptom of Mahabhav, right? So sometimes Gurudeva also in his Harikatha he explains the 6 symptoms of Mahabharata according to the Shastra. One of the symptoms is Tirtak Joni Prapti Lalasa, means you want to take birth in animal species, not as a human being, because you think the animals are more able to serve Krishna than you are. So this happens with the gopis. Like here, and Parangurudeva is saying, no? The Uttamadikari, and also Uttamadikari, those from Uttamadikari stage, they see everyone serving according to his own personal mood. And he sees everyone is serving Krishna. So the gopis think, oh, these birds are serving Krishna and they are better than us because they are silent. They can take in Krishna completely in their eyes and just think about him. But we are unable to be silent. We are unable to be steady and with mind steady. Our mind is so restless. But the gopis' mind is restless because they are looking for Krishna. They want to serve him all the time. They are actually speaking about him all the time. So, if anyone would like to speak anything also, or ask anything, or correct me, or just give any input, please, you can write in the comments. We can have some moment now for that. Sometimes Gurudeva explains that in the spiritual world, the lower rasa in this world is the higher rasa. And the opposite also applies. Because this world is the perverted reflection of transcendental world. So for example, in this world, what is higher, the highest thing, is someone who is calm, quiet, very like, example, like think about like Buddha, something like this. Even normal people, everyone like, oh, Buddha, you know, like very quiet, very wise, very like serious and like this. Everybody gives respect to someone who is very serious, very quiet, very controlled and all that. So this is like Shantaras, meditation. But in the spiritual world, Shantarasa, which is neutral mood, is the lowest. And then Parakya-rasa, Paramor mood, is the highest. And in this world, Parakya-rasa is so low that it even takes you to hell, right? Completely condemned. Condemns. Bimala Krishna Das, are upavas and upāsana the same? Yeah, you know, actually, when I read the word, I was also remembering. Because according to when we speak about the Ekadashi-kata, when we hear Ekadashi-kata, we always hear upavas means fasting. And also means upa means close, vasa to stay. So, or to sit. To sit near Lord is called upavas, fasting. And here we heard that upāsana also means upa-asana, like sit close, also means another meaning. Upāsana means to sit also close to Lord. And worship too. Because you know Sanskrit words, they have many meanings. So in one way, you know that upavas means fasting and also means close to Lord. And upasana means also sitting close to Lord, but also means worship. So I don't think they are the same. Like generally don't hear upavasa related to upasana, to worship. But of course, like the Sanskrit words, they have many, many meanings. So the same meaning can be derived from these two words. That's how I understand at least. But yeah, Bimala Krishna Prabhu, I also thought the same when we read about upasana. I was also thinking, is this like same explanation here for upavas? Lalit Mohini Didi, this is very good. Thank you for explaining these foundation principles. Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. So I see you guys on Wednesday for Bhakti Tattva Vivek. Have you read Bhakti Tattva Vivek? Hope to see you there. Bhakti Tattva Vivek on Wednesday. So we have Tattva Siddhanta and Rasa Siddhanta. It's funny, Gurudeva did the same also when I was reading Portuguese. He said you cannot read only Tattva Siddhanta, you have to have both, Tattva Siddhanta and Rasa Siddhanta. So this book here for us is Rasa Siddhanta, right? So beautiful conclusions of Rasa and the mellows. And funny, when I asked Gurudeva about reading, in English he said Bhakti Tattva Vivek, which is Tattva. So we must have both. So we have to make the castle of Bhakti, the palace of Bhakti with the strong foundations of Tattva. And then we can build the beautiful palace of Rasa Siddhanta on the top. If you only give Rasa Siddhanta, only reading about Gopis, Krishna, Goloka Vrindavan, only reading hearing about that, most likely you maybe become a sahajiya. Means you think you're already there, you think you have all those moods, you think you're a gopi, but you're not even following the proper rules. You don't even know how to clean yourself after going to the bathroom. You don't even follow the 4 principles, for example. means you're not following properly. So that's called sahajiya, right? You're not following the principles of devotion, but you think you're there in the high moods. And at the same time, on the other hand, if you only become too much tata means philosophy, shastra, very strong, then your heart can become also too dry, and you can even maybe be led to impersonalism, means too much tato siddhanta, too much hard, and maybe become also impersonalist. So that's why I have to have both, like a balance. So today is the Rasa Siddhanta day. We're reading about the gopis, the perception of the bees, of the birds of Vrindavan, how they see, how they impose their moods in all these living entities. And on Wednesday, we'll read about what is bhakti, what is not bhakti, and all the conclusions of given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jai Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much, everyone here, for coming together to study this Shastra. Thank you so much, this opportunity. Jai Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Dandavat pranams to you. Dandavat. Jai Srila Gurudeva ki jai.